up, guys? Bravely and I here, and welcome to episode number 11 of our Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney playthrough. Do apologise for the fact that Ace Attorney has kind of taken a backseat to other playthroughs as the week has gone on, but it's really difficult to record Ace Attorney because like all of the episodes are so long that like you have to find a lot of time to do it. And in recording one episode of Phoenix Wright, I could record 2 episodes of Fire Red Omega, or I could record about 5 episodes of Super Meat Boy, which I have been playing this week. So yeah, it's kind of difficult to find time to do it, but we are here today on the final day of the Turnabout Samurai trial. So yeah, hopefully today is cool, and we managed to get the decision that we need to clear Will Powers of his name. If you are excited for this episode of Phoenix Wright, then please do leave a like, comment, or subscription down below. You know that I appreciate all of your interaction. Really does help me as content creator. So here we are in court, facing off against Miles Edgeworth once again. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Okay, usual stuff. Today will be the final day of this trial because we only get 3 days to get it. Excuse me, to get Will Powers off. If we don't, I don't know what happens. Whether he's just considered guilty or like they just make a judgment there and then. I guess I don't know. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in that Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Alright, so Edgeworth's a little bit on edge. Which, he's Edgeworth, so he's worth being on edge. So the prosecution straight away is calling the big guns out. Miss D. Vasquez is coming to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Alright. So this is who we believe. This is who we believe was, I don't know, she's got something heavily to do with this. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I'm a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in this trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Alright. So Vasquez is going to give, like, I feel like she's going to give really short statements. Really short testimony because she doesn't want to be here, basically. So here we go. I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. I've got to catch her with her pants down. Feel like she's the sort of person that's probably wearing a skirt. Maybe not. Yeah, she might be. I entered the trailer. Oh, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30 we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That is all. Alright. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you. The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over. So is that's taking it to the rehearsal, so after, from the trailer to Studio 1. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. It's the final battle, Nick, let's do it. I don't know why you're saying that, like, you don't have anything to do. I entered the trailer a little before noon. I honestly... In that statement, there wasn't a lot that I could... Let's just check the evidence, whether I've just forgotten a few things. So what's on with the stake? Oh, that's the employee area stake. That's got nothing to do with this. Okay. So yeah, I don't feel that there's anything... Yes. And you didn't stop in the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yeah, like I say, we're not getting much out of it. Meeting began at 12 sharp. I'm pretty sure that that's right. When did the monkey's head come down? 2:15 to 4. Yeah, there's nothing else. Nothing else. Let's press her on it. See what she says. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Okay. Same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. She's gonna be a tough one to crack. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. Press her on it. Might get a time. When exactly was that? I've forgotten. Meet ended at 4. Rehearsal was scheduled for 5. Okay. Press on the fatigued. Hold on. You had Cell take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Cell take me into the Studio 2 van. Can we take a look at the van? Manila used this van to drive Vasquez to Studio 1 after the meeting in the trailer. Great. That doesn't seem useful. 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. What were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. It was a 15-minute break. Wow. You didn't really answer the question there, did you? 8 T-bone steaks. You have someone who can verify this? Sal. She committed murder during that break. She wouldn't have time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence to prove she didn't eat that steak... Evidence that she didn't eat that steak? We don't have any evidence that she didn't eat that steak, do we? Guide map now. Oh, that was 5 years ago. That's nothing to do with this one. Evidence that she didn't eat that steak? I'm wondering whether Mr. Monkey's head has got something to do with it. This one's really difficult. I don't like this. These are all to do with the employee area. I keep forgetting you can't see my mouse. The sleeping pills and the steak here. I'm wondering whether it's got to do with Mr. Monkey's head. But there was a plate with T-bone steaks there. I don't know. I'm going to present Mr. Monkey's head. Nope. Maybe on that one? No, guess not. Right. How do you prove that she's not eating T-bone steak? As far as I'm guessing Phoenix is going to bluff here, but as far as I'm concerned, this has got nothing to do with it because this is from the employee area. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak, but I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table in the employee's room. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Miss Manila ate at the table outside the trailer. There's no bones on them plates. Yeah, there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. There we go. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? Think I know how. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. I see, then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order! Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left her trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai, and then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. Here I was worrying that today would be boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. I feel like I've already lost the battle of wits in this episode. I feel like I've already had lost the battle of wits. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I wonder if it's got to do with the fact that it's been mended. It's not impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but... Silence. I'm speaking. The victim was stabbed through the chest from the front, yes? I believe this would indicate that the victim was aware of the killer's presence. Now, the Steel Samurai costume is quite light and mobile. Compared to the victim, I am weaker and slower. I couldn't possibly win such a fight. Not to mention, there is proof I did not have the spear. The photograph of the Steel Samurai shows that the victim himself was holding it. Or do you mean to suggest that I could have wrested it away from him? Yeah, take that, right? If you still think she did it, show us proof. Hey, Nick. Look at the data we have on that samurai spear in the court record. Isn't there something in there that gets to you? Something odd about the samurai spear. Break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. I mean, like, I'm struggling here to see any duct tape on this picture. Like, it's really small on your screen. I'm struggling to see, like, the duct tape or whatever on the samurai picture. Wait. Something the matter, Mr. Wright? Sorry, Your Honor. I'd like to take back my previous claim. Very well, I won't hold you to your claim, but I'm afraid I will have to... No. What's this? You're taking back your claim? Let's backtrack for a moment. I want to consider whether the witness could have used the samurai spear or not. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? What the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I could prove that the samurai spear was not used as a murder weapon. Do you just present the samurai spear itself? Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was a security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who was wearing a thick costume with this, through the chest? Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I am the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell me what was. How was Hammer killed? The only thing I can think of is the fence post. From this photo here. Which is clearly strong enough. We know that he was stabbed. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? Feel like I might be making a big mistake here. Look at this photo. What is this? Well, that's Jack Hammer standing atop the stairs. Order, order! Can I... Oh, okay. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was close kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying... Yes. What happened 5 years ago? It's happened again. Alright. Alright. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my scriptwriting team. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of the argument that Hammer died at the trailer as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance? Actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. Well, that's obviously the van. Surely. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used a studio van to do it. I like how, all of this is just guesswork from Phoenix, and yet he manages to get it to stick. Recall your testimony. Okay, there was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There's a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, right. Don't forget, it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Yeah, his fingerprints are all over the sleeping pills, aren't they? Oh, it's Jack Hammer's who's on the sleeping pills. Do I think that he was? He's the only person there. And surely she's not lifting the body, carrying it over. Of course Salmonella has to be a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun. I win? Is that it? So, what happens next? Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Who can say? She's regained her composure now. Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits, and the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. I do like decisive proof. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do we do now? I wonder if I got to testify again. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again?
Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again?
Ugh.
You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. Waste of time.
Come so far and only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
Edgeworth.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was hoping to come up with a question whilst I was objecting, Your Honour. I didn't.
Edgeworth. I see, very well. Okay, I think he's got it this time. Second time round. Your Honour, I request that the witness testify again.
You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness.
I just want to hear your testimony again.
Does this make any sense to you, Your Honour? I don't see we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I too see a little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want to testify about?
Yes, well, indeed. Verily I say, ego. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth...
Who knows? Probably realised she did it too.
But... Wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that?
Maybe Edgeworth's turning. Maybe.
Okay, after finding the body. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Oldbag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes, then I went home.
Okay. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay, find the key you need to twist the truth out of her. So, I guess that means press her on everything. Again, I didn't see much wrong with that. Like, Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body.
What time was that?
We'd meet at 5 for the rehearsal, so I'll say it was them.
When exactly did you and Mr. Manal arrive at the studio?
About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you.
Yeah, let's carry on pressing. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio?
They weren't there yet.
Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help.
Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy.
Okay. Assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct?
So he says.
Did no one go to call him?
Remember.
Remember what?
There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm?
Let's keep pressing. Wait a second. Wouldn't that be the other way round?
The other way around?
You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? I have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Logically speaking, perhaps, but no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting at location. No one noticed he was missing.
Okay. Immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. What was everyone else doing at that time?
No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry, I'm late. Then silence, dead silence.
Kind of like that. Dead silence.
Silent. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up.
Security lady. Why does security lady think Powers had done it?
She said because she saw him going towards the studio.
Right, the Steel Samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word?
Perhaps not. She seemed to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact.
Okay.
She's not known for exhibiting the best judgment when it comes to Hammer.
Okay, asked to be left out of proceedings. You asked to be left out?
Yes. Seems that everyone else was questioned. And I'm really not fond of that sort of thing.
But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question.
Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us.
Covered for you, covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it with all those bigwigs at the meeting. Sure, her professionals helped convince everyone that they didn't require questioning.
I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes.
Wait. She should have them on her. She was going to a rehearsal. The script and your direction notes?
Yes, they're quite valuable. Wouldn't do to have them stolen.
No, I guess not. Gotta press harder on that one. Wait a second. Thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes?
Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything.
Why?
There was a murder, after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that?
Hang on. I was about to say, somebody's got to come in with that one. Your Honour, I have an objection to the witness's last statement.
Huh?
Think. Miss Vasquez says she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio One. Alright. Good start. Thank you, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, what you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honour. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me.
So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Huh? Very well, the witness shall change his testimony to reflect this reason.
I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind.
Now this is, we've got to... I'm going to press on it because there's not a lot that I can... I need that statement. How did you know about the injury?
How did I know? Sal. He told me.
Okay. Knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. No. No. Powers is injured. That's it. You knew that Hammer was injured? Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers.
What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo, but that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Pretending?
One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured?
I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right. He must have got it wrong.
I think not. Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez? You saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. And when was he doing this?
Well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered.
Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who'd been injured that morning.
That is why.
I will have order.
Witness, can you refute this claim?
Yeah, let's let you sneak out of this. Let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez.
Very well. I have a question for you.
Ugh.
Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes, you would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter?
I'm going to say it's to do with this photo. I'm wondering whether I just go, of course I can prove it.
Okay. I have proof and I'll show it to you. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals that the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom.
His guilt weighed him down, no less.
However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change.
Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate.
Yes, undoubtedly it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Mr. Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have had no reason to kill Mr. Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
I'm not sure if any of this evidence really points to anything. Like,
the idea in my head is that Hammer was going to confront her. So she had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. There you go. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security guard into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dee Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Snap. There we go. She's gone. We've finally broken her. So, you did do it, didn't you?
Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late.
Oh. Ah, Miss Vasquez! What happened here?
Manuel fell from the trailer stairs.
Manuel! Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm.
No. How could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Manuel!
Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez.
Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's Dee Vasquez?
Yeah, in the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever.
I see, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. I thank you, Your Honor.
I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty.
Confetti in the court.
That is all. The court is adjourned.
Alright. We managed to get the verdict that we needed. Excellent.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was a Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as a villain to boot. Kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. Could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
Congratulations, WP!
Oh, hey. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and, Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Nick, Edgeworth.
Edgeworth I always think that Edgeworth looks funny from the face on. He looks really strange. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk.
Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Oh, pleased to meet you. I'm Powers.
Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Are those kind of things necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. He doesn't like that he's becoming a good guy. Oh, Mr. Wright, is this guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? Are we going to find out? We are. No, we're not. So the curtain closes on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kids shows again. Pink Princess. Nick! This is it! This is the new show, starts today. You're gonna watch it with me, right? They actually went through with Salmonella's idea. And you have to buy trading cards too, okay? And we have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? Wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. Ace, we have just managed to get Will Powers off the murder charge that he was saddled with. And next up, we have got Turnabout Goodbyes as our thingy, our next episode. So like I say, we will be starting that in the next episode. But yeah, with that, we are going to leave this one off here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. And all of my crazy voice acting, my throat is already killing me. I wanted to record another one, but let's see. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. And with that, we are going to get out of here. I will see you next time. Stay brave, guys.
How will I sit in silence? How will I be denied? I was not born to follow. I was not born